Hey everyone, it's Sophie here from Simply For You again. So we're at part 3 now and we're going to do the journal cover. I'm going to do front. I don't think I'll do the back on this one. We'll see. So to start with, I'm just painting it with some acrylic paint, again from Stamperia. So everything I've used so far is from Stamperia and I'll list everything down below. I've just got the off-white. I just want to tone down that paper a little bit and make it a little bit more maybe vintagey or antique-y. And so you'll see shortly that I will add some more colour just to bring out that antique look. The first part is what takes a little bit of time, and you just kind of, well, there you go, I'm doing the back. I can't remember, see. So I'm doing the back as well, and I'll speed it up because you don't want to see me doing this whole thing. It'll just be boring. I do want to emphasize, though, that it's important to dry your layers every time you do something different. So I put the antique white and then I followed that through with the vintage photo, Distress Ink vintage photo. So now I'm going to just take a look and see what I can tear off from this piece of paper. This one is not from Stamperia. It is from an old paper pad I had that I picked up from Spotlight here in Australia. And I'm just sizing it up to see what I want to cut off, what I don't want to cut off. And I apologise. I think it looks like part of it it doesn't all fit on the screen, unfortunately, but you can see what I'm trying to do. So again, I'm just auditioning the paper to see what fits, what doesn't, what looks good, what doesn't. There are some parts that I didn't want to take out. I wanted to leave some of the writing. I wanted to leave a little bit of the cameo because I am going for that vintage feel. Then shortly I will start to ink all that up. I'm pretty much happy with how it's looking at the moment. Okay, so I don't know what I'm doing here. There we go. Okay, starting all over again. So there I'm just auditioning it up, making sure that it actually fits on the front, and that's important to do before you glue it on. I just want to make it look a bit more uniform, so I'm tearing off the straight edge so that it doesn't, so that it matches with the rest of it. There you go. I did keep the cameo. I like the cameo. I haven't kept all of it, but that's okay. And sometimes when you cut a little piece off, it kind of gives a bit more character. I actually really enjoy watching this part because it gives the journal a bit of coming to life. So you can see the front of the cover is coming to life with the paint and this piece of paper now. So I'm inking it all up. I know some people don't like inking and you don't have to, but I think it just adds, it makes that piece of paper pop. So again, I'm just making sure it fits. It's very, very important at this stage because you don't want to make a mistake. So again, I'm adding some texture. I'm using the Stencil. This is from Stamperia also. Adding a bit of vintage photo. There are some spots, spotty paper that I used before, so I'm just keeping in the same sort of theme. I don't want to mix it up too much. Some of this you won't be able to see, but it doesn't matter. It still gives it a bit of texture and a bit of technique coming through. All right, and now I'm going to add some ink. So I'm using archival ink. I did use this ink because it's a permanent ink. I wasn't sure at this stage whether I was going to put another layer on top, in which case it would smudge if I just used normal dye ink. Permanent ink is exactly that, permanent, and if I decided to put something over the top, it wouldn't move. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm just adding some numbers and a bit of text, again, just to add some character to the front cover. Okay, all done for that part. All right, so here's the front of the cover. Now I'm using some, or I can't remember what this is called, but I will look it up and I'll put it in the description box below. It's copper. It's a copper base, and it just, again, gives it a bit of character. I'm using my fingers. Fingers the best tool. So I'm just using it just to smudge it on here and there. Gives it a bit of a rusty feel, or like a coffee feel, I suppose. Again, it's just because I like it and I think it looks good. So now you can see the difference between what the paper, plain paper, was like before, and now it just seems like the journal's come to life. Now I'm just using some spray. It's important when using the spray to just give it a good shake so that they all the balls sort of mix up the powder inside. And then I'm using a piece of cheesecloth to dab those little spots away. You'll see shortly that I make a mistake thinking that it's dry, and I brush my hand all over it and it's not dry. But that's okay. It kind of leaves some streaks, which it looks fine. So again, it doesn't matter, if there you go. See, oops, I'm smudging it, but it doesn't matter. It's just added to the texture and it looks fine. So don't ever be afraid to make a mistake. It can always be covered up. So now I'm going to use the stencil again from Stamperia, and just do pretty much the same as what I did with the other piece of paper there that I used, but this time I'm using some texture paste. This is from Ranger, and I'm just going wherever I feel like it. Again, some of this might be covered up, but you know what? It doesn't matter. Just put it on as you feel. And if it gets covered up, so be it. But at the moment, it's just adding texture. I know some people will say, well, what's the point of doing it if it's going to be covered up? But we don't know. So it just adds texture, which is fine. So now that's it for that bit. Again, I'm making sure that it's nice and dry. Again, between each layer, make sure that it's dry. All right, so now I'm going to audition the clock. It says coffee, and so the clock initiates coffee time, which is a lovely time for me. I love my coffee. And now I'm auditioning some different pieces to layer onto the front cover. And you'll see that I'm not happy with any of these at all. They just blend in too much. The back is just too busy. I could have toned it down a little bit, but I didn't. So now I've got to find something that just doesn't blend in, that it actually pops out. So I do like what I've done with the clock. That's going to stay, but all those other pieces will not come into it. So now what I've done is I've taken it away and sewn it, used the sewing machine. I do really like to use the sewing machine. Again, more texture. And I'm auditioning so that I put things where I believe they should be. That piece of cheesecloth that I wiped all the spots off with before, I'm going to use in the background of my journal piece, that actually says journal. So now again, I'm inking. You don't have to. Like I said before, some people don't like the inking, but I actually do like inking. It really does add something to your piece. It does tone down those very white edges and some of the white parts of the cover. The thread that I used was too creamy looking as well, and you couldn't really see it, so I inked that up as well. When you're auditioning your pieces, make sure that the final result doesn't go over your binding, over the spine of your journal. Otherwise, it'll stick out and it will look a bit strange. So just make sure that whatever you do, it stays within the front piece and doesn't go over to the spine. So just applying some glue. Now this is art glitter glue in this little bottle. I do like my art glitter glue, but it dries very quick and doesn't give you much time to reposition. But that's okay. I don't need it really here. I kind of know what I'm doing. Again, I'm auditioning to make sure I haven't gone over my spine. So now I'm going to glue down the cheesecloth. It's got a bit of that dye on it because we use that to wipe up the spots. In this bottle, I have the Collall Glue. I prefer to use that when I'm doing these kind of pieces with the fabric. I feel that it really does stay put a lot better. It also gives me a bit of time to move things around. Now I did sew that little piece as well that's going to have some hardware on it shortly that says journal. So this is the piece of hardware. This I got a long time ago from Which Craft Do You Do. I will put them down below. They have a lot of fabulous products. I do like the hardware on my journals. They just add a piece of authenticity, I believe, and makes it just a nicer piece. It just brings it to life. I know I've said that before, but that's honestly what it does. And then I'm going to put those little brads in the holes and just bend those pieces backwards so that you can't see them. Then I'm going to glue the whole thing onto the label that I've already placed. So this is part 3 of my coffee journal. Part 1 and 2 are up on my YouTube, and I'd be grateful if you could actually have a look at it, like it. If you do like it, give me a thumbs up, and even some comments as to what you think I should include, what I shouldn't have included, what you'd like me to do in the future. That'd help me a lot. That'd be awesome. I really do love my journals. The journals are my favourite thing to do. I do cards as well and commission and pieces and things like that, but my journals are my absolute favourite. So this is almost the end. There is a part 4 and there'll be a part 5 where I'm finishing it over completely. And then I'm going to do something very different with the journal making. So there I am gluing my journal piece onto the label. Then I'm going to add just a little bit more. I felt that it was a bit naked. It needed some sprucing up. So I'm going to add some flowers that I've made up out of the Turtle Journal. I believe these were from. Again, I'm auditioning. I have left the pieces of thread on there. I just, again, feel that they add a bit of texture. Now I'm just going to glue it down with my Collall Glue. The Collall Glue is a bookbinding glue and it dries hard. So if you're using paper that's not quite, it's a bit flimsy, it's not quite thick enough, your Collall Glue will make sure that it actually does harden up a little bit. It's great. I absolutely love it. You can purchase Collall Glue here in Australia. You can get it from Amazon. I'm not sure if Craft Online has it, but I'll look it up for you and let you know where you can purchase it from. You don't have to use Collall Glue, of course. You can use any other glue, liquid glue. Collall is an acetone-based glue, so it is very strong. It doesn't really have a smell, I don't think. Other people sort of tend to feel that it has a smell, but it doesn't bother me at all. So here are those little flowers and the pieces of leaves that I've come up with. These are from the Turtle Journal, and so I'm just going to put those pieces in. It just adds something to the cover. So I hope you've really enjoyed this piece. I hope that you will make one yourself. There's just something about making a journal, and I do like making my journals to be written in. I don't like, I do like the art journals. They look beautiful, but I like mine to have some purpose. And so that's why I do like to write or have space to write in them. The next part 4, we'll be doing the spine and the back of the journal, and then that will finish the actual journal cover itself. And then part 5 will be the actual putting in of the signature, and that'll be it. I will do a flip through once I've done the signatures and once I've decorated them through. I'll do a flip through so I can show you what the final thing looks like. There we go. They are pretty flowers. They're just ones that you make up yourself. They come in a plastic bag, and you just cellophane bag, and you just put them together as you see fit. So please leave me a comment below. Give me a thumbs up if you can. Let me know what you think. I really value your feedback, and I also like reading all the comments, so that would be amazing. Thanks heaps for joining me on this one, and I hope to see you again in my next one. Thanks heaps. See you later, guys. Bye. Oh, bugger. Okay, so now I'm just going to add some spots. I actually forgot that I did this piece. Again, this is a Stamperia thing. I will link them below. I just felt like it needed something else, so I put some on the flower and I put some in the top corner. There, all done. Awesome. So I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks heaps for watching, guys. See you later. Bye for now.